My name is Jennifer DeCristoforo, and I'm the author of Lucky Bamboo Book of Crafts. Today I'm going to be making a craft with you to celebrate the Chinese New Year, also called Lunar New Year, and the Spring Festival. I've decided today to do a paper cut with you, and this is really my favorite time of year to do crafts, so I'm excited to get started. Paper cutting has been an important and respected folk art in China since the invention of paper in ancient times. Generations still pass down the artistry and unique skill of making paper cuts for celebrations, including the Spring Festival. The paper designs decorate doors, gates, and walls with beautifully snipped images that illustrate a theme or event. This can include natural scenes and animals, symbolic designs, words, and phrases. Let me tell you what we need today to make our craft. Really simple stuff you probably have around the house. First, we need some paper, 8.5 by 11. This should be a light bond, not something thick that's hard to cut, because paper cutting requires some nice detailed snipping. I like red for paper cuts for the Lunar New Year to be most auspicious in keeping with the holiday. We also need a ruler and a pencil, glue stick, and glitter. This is optional, but I always use glitter pretty much on everything. And a good pair of scissors. Smaller ones are better. If you've got those big, craft scissors for boxes and things, you want to try to find a smaller pair. Even in a sewing kit or hair snippers, these are more traditional for making paper cuts. Okay, an important part of this project is the template for the shape to the paper cut. Today I'm using a Chinese character for spring because it's the Spring Festival. And this is adapted a little bit from a traditional character because of course this has to be symmetrical. It's going to be a folded project to cut. So we have this template available on cafeandmaine.org, right on the website. And I also have it on my book website, luckybambooCrafts.com. So there are two places you can get it. You can also cut your own paper cut. You can make up an original design. You can research some traditional paper cuts and draw your own. You can trace from something. So don't be limited by what I'm doing. So to start our craft, on the template, you'll see I have a fold and start, cut, start, cut. What we're going to do first is just cut around the template and cut out the square, which will be a diamond when we're done, just to get the shape. And I'm going to do this kind of quickly for the sake of our project, but you can take all the time you need to get some beautiful cuts. And the reason I'm cutting it out is because I'm going to use it as a template on top of the red paper. Get that out of the way. So it's still a diamond, but what I'm going to do now is cut it on the line in the middle, and I'll show you why. Okay, so this is really our template. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and fold it diagonally so you get a nice fold and a nice point. Don't worry about it being too big. And this edge has to go on the fold. So if that makes sense, you see I'm pushing this up right to the edge and it matches up and the fold is on this side. Now, next I'm just going to kind of weight it down, take my ruler and draw a quick line just to make the cutting a little easier. And I'm going to cut this so we have identical shape of diamond. Okay? So it will be like that when it's open. All right, we give it a nice seam. We get our template back. Now here's the slightly skilled part, so this might take a little time. Now some people might opt to put a little dot of glue or something or a piece of tape as you go around and cut. I find it's easier to just press the pieces together and try to keep them aligned, because then you don't have things sticking to each other. So first what I'm going to do is cut out this big area here. And if you remember from the template, there were sort of little cut areas, almost little roads that you could go in. Now you see this piece here? You want to make sure not to cut that, because that's going to hold the whole thing to the border, that little piece. So we'll go in like this and follow the line. I'm going through 1 layer of template and 2 layers of red paper. And again, I'm doing this quickly. Not only can you take your time cutting this out, but after you're done, you can go back and clean up the little snips, especially on the scallop border. I find sometimes it just needs a little cleanup to be a little more rounded. So hopefully this makes sense what I'm doing. I'm just cutting around, again, being careful not to cut through and snip anything open I don't want open. Okay. Keep going, move this around. Yeah, it's a little tricky, it takes some time, but I wanted to do a design that kind of had a nice, interesting shape to it and could celebrate spring. So it needed a little bit of detail. That's done. Okay, that piece is done. Okay? Now you see, I still need to hold it together. And now I'm going to do this bottom piece right here. And this is going to take a little time, but this is really the biggest part of your project, so take the time you need. There, that fell right up. Now I'm going to do these little pieces. This one, snip it a little more. Okay. 2. And 3. Okay. Now this last part will be pretty easy, I hope. We'll keep the template on there, although it gets harder and harder to kind of hang on to it because it gets smaller. I'm going to go around the edges, and if you find this is easier to do first, you can do it first. But I'm just going to kind of snip out these little scallops so that it has a nice little texture on the edge. And again, just follow the template. Try to keep it as matched up as possible. That's the trick. Okay, we've done all our cutting. So here's the exciting part. Now we're going to open it up. And this you sort of just gently kind of unfold the folds. And just kind of bend them the opposite way. Now, look at that. Pretty good, huh? And this can be put on your windows, your doors, anywhere where you want to show that you're in the spirit of the Lunar New Year. And one last little step I'll do. This is sort of turning into my signature, which is putting a little bit of glitter on it. So I'll do that. Just a few little spots. Turn this. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for making a paper cut craft with us today, and Happy New Year.